Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of East Meets West, ladies and gentlemen. And you can say that this is a special episode because we're in the second round of the WNBA playoffs 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Aces versus the Fever. It is the Lynx versus who are they going against? The
The
Mercury, who
Mercury.
everybody did not anticipate making it past New York, which is crazy. But let's just start off first. Let me introduce us. It's been a while since it's just been you and I. So that's your boy Conrado Pascual. Make sure you follow your boy opinionated MJ. We here. How you feeling today, brother?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Happy Saturday to everybody. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
man, all those game threes delivered, you
Man.
know? So, I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's kind of nice. I mean, I don't know. I speak for myself. I kind of need, like, it's good that there's no game today, kind
Right.
of catch my breath and
Yeah.
everything and
That's
gather my thoughts. And I guess that's why we're here, right?
yeah.
Because we've gathered some thoughts.
Right.
So,
That's
might
how
as
I've
well
been feeling too.
put it out into the universe.
Yes, sir. So let's just jump straight into it, man. Like Aces and Fever, it's not the most like pretty matchup. You know what I mean? If Caitlin Clark was playing, then it would be like, oh, Caitlin Clark's going against Aja, even though they don't play the same position. But just give me some of your thoughts about like what you've seen from the Fever that you think they may be able to deliver on to possibly beat the Aces. I know it's a long shot, just on paper, just because the Aces have Aja. And I mean, but the Fever do have a lot of vets, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They stacked on vets to try to get Caitlin to this point. And I can only imagine if Caitlin was playing and they figured it out. Like, and she also kind of gained her footing for the season. But I know Kelsey's been over there killing it. Natasha's been over there killing it. Aaliyah Boston's been underrated, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Y'all need to give her respect because she was the pick before Caitlin. No shade, but and after Nalissa too. And she's the one that gives you the most like solid foundation for like what your team can be and what they are going forward. Because she's in the paint. It's a lot of bigs that really dominate this game from the
Yeah.
Ages to the Jonquil Joneses. You got Fee playing kind of big, Brianna Stewart. So Aaliyah is in that sphere to me. And I just feel like if they're going to have a shot, it's going to be a total team effort. And I just want to know what your thoughts are about that. Like, what you think they could do. At least that's the first question for this series.
I mean, yeah, I think I'm with you. I think like as a lot of fans would assume, I think the Aces, I mean, both by like the Vegas odds, like the sports books and everything like that. And I think probably like the temperature of like fans and what they're thinking. I think the Aces are the heavy favorites
Yeah.
in the series. But I mean, like, not to like all nerd out again, but like statistically, they're not that far off.
They
I
don't.
mean, like, even without Caitlin Clark, this was actually kind of interesting, right? Like, the Fever still finished the season with the third best offensive rating, right? They were third best offensive rating with Caitlin. They're still third best without, right? Obviously, as you just said, like they just did it differently, right? And then of course, in terms of defense, they're kind of like in the middle of the pack. They're in, like the seventh. Interestingly enough, though, right? Even after the trade for like Nalissa Smith, after like they moved Jewel Lloyd, to have her like come first, six women, or six player off the bench or six player for their team. The Aces, they were still like what I think fifth in offensive rating and still eighth in defensive rating. Right now, I mean, like they've shown they can make timely stops, but I mean, still some of those issues, that kind of were affecting them, prior to any of the trades that they made, they still exist, right? They're just finding ways to kind of mitigate any of those instances. So all of that is to say, I mean, like, while I understand why the Aces will be the heavy favorites, as you said, right? I mean, the Asia Wilson, right? The co-defensive player of the year, quite possibly will know by, I believe, tomorrow, right? Who will be named the MVP, right? And in all I don't say in all likelihood, but she is definitely a heavy favorite, to win the MVP again this year. I mean, it'll be tough. It'll be tough because if you just go down the list, like, hey, even though that's not how basketball is played, how
Right.
sometimes people like, oh, well, let's compare the point guards, let's compare the shooting guards, which team has the
Mhm.
better? It doesn't work that way, right? Like
Right.
one position being better than the other,
Mhm.
like can make the entire difference of the matchup. And I mean, like, I don't think they really have an answer for Asia. But to be fair,
Right.
I don't think really any team does. So this is
Right.
not something specific to Indiana. Um, but it'll be interesting because I think for Indiana, I don't think this is going to be a quick series. I think this is
Mhm.
at least going four.
Okay.
Either way, whoever you pick, this is not a sweep. I could also see it going five. We'll get to our
Ooh.
predictions at the end of the series, or at the end of our like kind of
Yeah.
sharing our thoughts.
Yeah.
But with the Fever, I mean, I think Stephanie White, who took a lot of criticism this year, like, oh, are you doing anything any better, than
Right.
sides, like, all like kind of the, like the, I don't want to say locker room drama, but when there's like a lot of ambiguity,
Mhm.
with like players' roles, was there any discontent among them, frustration, and at least for that series against Atlanta,
Mhm.
she coached her butt off. She
Yeah.
coached her butt
Yeah.
off. She made all the necessary adjustments. I'd like to get your idea of what you saw, but just real quick, I'll just say, in game one, I think everyone was like, dude, this I get it, right? Aaliyah Boston, she's
Mhm.
gonna command like the most defensive
The
attention,
attention,
probably,
yes.
right? If not Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston would, right? And of course, right, Atlanta wanted to keep her out of the paint. So they decided to make Aaliyah Boston more of like an offensive hub around the key.
Mhm.
She was fantastic. She was completely, like doing her Alyssa Thompson impersonation and facilitating the offense. The problem is she finished the game with like what, 8 field goal attempts, right?
Yeah.
Can't happen, right? So
Mhm.
what did they end up doing, right? They ended up allowing her to again start out, early in possessions in games 2 and 3. Start out with a dribble handoff around, right? Um, around the key, and then rather than just like whoever receives the ball, whether that's like Kelsey Mitchell or something like that, or Odyssey Sims, rather than like immediately shoot off of like kind of like her screen handoff,
Yeah.
right? Kelsey would kick it to like the short corner. So who's there? What, like Lexi Hull,
Mexico, yeah.
Ariel Powers, right? But then when they kick it, to the short corner, that allows Aaliyah Boston to then reposition, right? To repost up even deeper, get a deeper
Mhm.
seal. Boom, right? Now they're getting point blank looks. I thought that was a very creative adjustment. And Atlanta, you saw it. They were very slow to respond to it, and as the game
Yeah.
wore on, it got them. So yeah, I don't think the Fever. I mean, I know it's a lot of recency bias. Like you feel good about it. Like, hey, they pulled off the upset, right?
Right.
The 3-6 upset. But I think, I don't know, right? Like I feel like they have the ability to definitely muck up the game in their favor. So
I agree. And you just brought something to my attention because I didn't think about it. And it's crazy because I've been paying attention to all the other coaches, what they've been doing, mainly Phoenix, you know what I mean? But didn't think about Stephanie White, you know what I mean? So it's like Caitlyn goes down and it's like the ecosystem was hers last season, you know what I mean? And then what if that was actually part of like why she was kind of out of sorts to start the season, you know what I mean? Like because Stephanie White came in and she's like, we're gonna do it like this, and Caitlyn needed to make some more adjustments and just adjust to her new teammates as well. Like, not nothing against Caitlyn, not saying that she fell off or anything like that. But when coaches come in, you have to make adjustments. You know what I mean? Like all
yeah,
players have to make adjustments. Just like you just said, like you can't have Aaliyah just taking 8 shots. You know what I mean? But what if that's what the game script was for Stephanie White? You know what I mean? Like we're gonna do it this way. When you get your opportunities, then go ahead. But we're gonna play this possession by possession like we have to in the playoffs, especially in a W. Like every possession matters in a W, it seems like. And I just feel like not you brought her up and her coaching job was, man, let me pull a word out. a cartoony word, stupendous.
All right.
I thought about Bugs Bunny or somebody, whoever said it. It's stupendous. But yeah, like she did her thing, bro. So and then, but I also credit the vets. I credit like Kelsey Mitchell as well heavily for being able to still thrive because I felt like she took the next step when Caitlin came. You know what I mean? Like she was able to show that she can move off the ball, move with the ball. She was super fast. She's a crazy shooter. She can stretch your floor. Everything is like, what weaknesses does she have to her game? Like she's
Yeah.
real fierce. It's like she's always frowned up. You know what I mean? Um, and I don't know. I like what I'm seeing from them because it's like a total team effort. And I think that you saying 4, maybe 5, that might be real. You if she can come up with like a game plan, Age is gonna do Asia. You know what I mean? And if you can figure out like, oh, okay, let's limit Jewel Lloyd. Okay, let's make sure we put a wall in front of Jackie Young. Let's make sure we kind of get in like it irritate Chelsea Gray. Like they have a chance. You know what I mean? Because they have
Yeah.
enough players top to bottom to actually that'll go crazy. But they have enough to actually do something with the Lynx at this iteration. I mean, of the
Aces.
Aces. Yeah, they have an opportunity to really muck things up and like I mean, I'm not gonna knock the Aces for uh the way they came into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Won like almost 20 games straight, including playoffs. Almost,
15,
almost. I
it's
think it was
15 games
18.
straight, right?
I think it was 18.
15 games straight, or 16
Eight,
games straight, right?
wasn't it 18
I
straight?
mean, like going into the
Oh,
playoffs,
going
right?
in,
Was it
yeah,
like 16 straight? Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So that means 17, yeah.
Yeah.
But the playoffs in the regular season is a different story. You know what I mean? So as we
I
got to
mean,
see,
as a friend of the show, Alfred Corietti, right? As he said,
mhm,
right? I mean, with each round, it goes back to 0-0,
right,
right? I mean, everyone's
mhm,
record starts at 0-0 now. So, um, yeah, it'll be interesting. In terms of the Fever, like for example, not necessarily just, well, I guess if we'll fine, highlight a couple players who will likely have to be big in order for them to make it a series.
yeah,
Obviously, one of the stars of the first round, she had the series saving play was Lexi
mhm,
Hull, right?
yeah,
Defensive closer, closed that game with a steal, right? Game
mhm,
over.
right,
Someone, one of my peers had sent me a message and said, like, it's kind of interesting, like how we, kind of like how you perceive players. Like, I don't want to use the word narrative pejoratively, right? But what would the narrative have been if Lexi didn't get that save or that
right,
steal?
right,
Right?
yeah,
Because I think he's saying, like, as the primary defender, I think like Lexi had like 20 points scored on her total that entire game, like from different players, but 20 total,
right,
right? And I said, you're absolutely right. I think there is a lot of merit to that. Like, we would not be singing her praises if she didn't make that play. I mean, that's probably like one of the biggest plays of her professional career, if not
career,
the
yeah,
biggest play to
yeah,
date,
probably to
right?
this point, yeah, mhm,
But I was saying, like, if you look at how she was playing all game, right? Her ability to consistently just every defensive possession, right? Getting her arms, getting her hands in the passing lane, forcing Atlanta to reset, right?
yeah,
Always, right? When she fights over screens, staying skinny, right? And then being able to like shoot the gap, perfect timing. All of that's to say is I think it had a cumulative effect because you saw, right, by late third quarter, the entire fourth quarter, Atlanta could not get a clean entry pass.
at
They could
all.
not get the ball cleanly to Bree Jones,
Nope.
right? And yeah, Bree, she made some good like mid-range shots and everything, like, but that's not what they want to do, right?
Right.
So all of that's to say is, can they repeat that? Can they do that against the Aces? If you could do that, because now it's a 5-game series. If you have enough energy to do that, you could definitely wear on Las Vegas's post players, obviously Asia, but even to
Mhm.
a lesser extent, even like Nalissa Smith, because let's be real, she's feasting in the paint. You
Yeah.
know, if you can make them, like, make no mistake, their ability to shoot the mid range is what
Mhm.
makes them great. But if that's all they're doing, that's a
Right.
win. That's a win for the Fever's
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Before we make our series predictions, who do you think is a potential X factor for both teams? Like, if you had to pick an X factor.
Um, I'm gonna say for the Aces, it has to be Nalissa Smith. She did a good job when she came in of helping Aja on the boards and
Yeah.
just in flying around. You know what I mean? So I just I can I choose two for the
Yeah.
Aces?
Yeah.
I'll call them the two-headed wonder. It's Nalissa Smith and Cheyenne Parker Tyus
Ooh,
because she
dude.
frees up Aja and she makes it where Aja doesn't have to play the five. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can try to throw her off on Aaliyah and let Aja be a helper. You know what I mean? At times, like I know she won't play the whole entire game alongside Aja, but I think that those two mean something because if they're not on this roster, it's looking kind of ugly with what the Fever have for me. And then
Nice.
for the Fever, I'm gonna go with hmm I'm gonna actually go with Natasha Howard.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's been real steady as a vet. You know what I mean? Um, she can get you buckets. She can get to the cup, and if she could use her length to disrupt a lot of what the Aces like to do, especially in that mid post area,
Mm.
if she can just disrupt just a little bit, she doesn't have to block everything or steal. But if she can just use her length and like bother Aja, maybe, hopefully, even though we just seen what Aja did to Dominique Malonga, like she was like, "Oh, you doing that this game? Oh, okay." Next game, she's like, "Oh, fake," and it like real quick fakes, like boom, and then just going straight up. She was actually using her veteran like skill and whatnot against her. So I would like to see Natasha like sometimes end up on Aja and see what that looks like because that'll let me know where this series can go. Because I don't, there's nobody that can guard Aja, but if she can bother
Yeah.
her and bother her enough to where she can become, ineffective for stretches, kind of like how yesterday, what happened with Jonquil Jones. If she can frustrate Aja instead of let Aja makes a shot and she hulks up. Do not let her score because she hulks up after every score. Like I've said this a long time ago. Like when she go, oh, that's like that's not good because you letting her like just increase her intensity. So kind of get into Aja and don't let her just dominate you, and then you have a chance to win because she dropped 38 and they still only won by one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my choices. What about you?
I also want to go with Melissa Smith.
Okay.
Again, I think like since she joined the team, it's actually again how she complements Asia so well because now she can really focus about being in the paint, like pretty much like hovering around the restricted circle.
Yeah.
She's seen an uptick in her offensive rebounding percentage,
Mhm.
right? Her own personal. And hey, it makes sense. The Aces offensive rebounding percentage has gone up. Just that alone has allowed them to control games, especially late in the games, like late in fourth quarter, right?
Mhm.
Where again, how do you win the time of possession? Just by winning the battle of the boards.
Right.
That's what they've been doing. I'll also shout out Dana Evans,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, she's
just
sneaky
because
good.
again, one of our friends of the show, like he actually dug into the numbers again here a little bit more, nerding out. Like he
Mhm.
just wanted to see like are the Aces actually doing anything like tactically different? They're really not. Like
Nah.
their shot profile is pretty much exactly the same, before and after the list trade. The only thing difference now is that they're making their threes. Now you
Right.
could make an argument, hey, right, because right they're being so dominant on the boards, and
Yeah.
they're other teams are having to send more players to try to prevent them from cleaning the offensive glass.
Mhm.
Maybe that's why they're getting more players open for three.
Right.
But hey, they're knocking them down. They knock them down, you should be winning. So Dana Evans is one of those players who can knock like 3-4 in a row. You know,
Right.
um, for the Fever, I gotta admit, so I gotta give her flowers. I did not think I'd be saying her name during the postseason. Bree Turner,
Oh
like
yeah,
F
yeah,
White, Bree Turner was like barely playing
yeah.
in the regular season, and like she got dusted off, and she basically like she completely swung momentum in games 2 and 3 for
Hmm.
the Indiana Fever. I'm gonna actually combine. I'll also do what you did. I'll pick two: Bree Turner
Okay.
and Michaela Timson.
Not, I love Michaela Timpson, bro.
So Michaela Timpson did not see.
She's silent with her lengths, bro.
Yeah, she didn't really get consistent play. Well, she didn't really get consistent playing time all year. She definitely was not getting any consistent minutes
Right.
in that first round series against Atlanta. But here's why my logic, right? The
Mhm.
Aces are like what? They finished the season with like finished seventh in pace. They don't really push the pace too much.
No.
Maybe in transition. So what I'm saying is, hey, right? Um, the Fever had success forcing some turnovers in the 1st round. If they can do that again, right? You got Kelsey Mitchell, right? You got
Yeah.
Ozzie Sims, right? Who
Lexi.
else? Right, Lexi. All I'm saying is you got players that are cool going up and down the court.
Oh,
Maybe.
I thought you were just meaning like the effective
Oh
in
yeah,
transition. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So
Oh, okay.
maybe that opens up an opportunity for Michaela Timpson, as kind of like the more traditional rim running, center.
Right.
Maybe there's an opportunity for her. So hence as an X factor. So there you go. All right. So before we get on to the next series, predictions. Let's put it out. People can make fun of us later. And so
it's tough to pick, but I'm gonna go Aces in 4 because they have like the championship like pedigree, and it just seems like it clicked in. It was like the Lynx were like, you got smacked, and they was like, okay, and then they just turned into something else. You know what I mean? So I think that they have it and they know what they need to do as far as just how to bring things together and how to move going forward. They still had the same coach. They still had the same core. They just got like Joel Lloyd and like, Nalissa now, whatnot, a few other different pieces, but they still have that championship core. So I think that they're capable of closing the series out in 4.
Same. I'll keep it short and sweet. I got Aces in 4 as well, but I
Okay.
think it's going to be a very competitive 4.
Oh yeah.
Especially when the series shifts to Indiana.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
I
my
definitely
God.
see these games going like to the wire. But again, if you're getting the Chelsea Gray that we've been getting like lately, I don't want to say like prime Chelsea Gray because that's like, that she hit a level that few
Right.
point guards hit. But I mean, lately, she's been her ability to like, kind of like flash post, get a little flash post up and everything like that. She's being a lot more aggressive, off the dribble. If you're getting that, then yeah, I could definitely see them like securing this in 4.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's move on to the series that's gonna make me buy popcorn and enjoy. It is going to be the Lynx versus the just out of nowhere, nobody expected them, Phoenix Mercury. I'll let you have the floor first because like I'm sure you got observations like crazy. I was so just enamored with AT this entire series and Satu game 2. Like, so I'll let you go first with your expectations.
I think you and I had talked about it. We talked about it with friend of the show, Hayden Silly.
Yes,
If there's
what's up, Hayden?
something, that could potentially prevent the Mercury from advancing, it would be potentially a lack of chemistry, a lack of familiarity amongst the big 3, because right, they were all injured
at some
at
point,
different points in the season, like literally,
like New
right,
York.
it was Kalea Copper first, right? And then like AT went down, then Satu went down, or I might have had the other way around. I can't remember. But basically, right, like one of them was always missing at a given time. So they never really had a lot of, minutes together. So would they be able to put it together? They definitely did. They were able to do it. I mean, their backs were against the wall, but they were able to do it in order to beat the New York Liberty. I mean, it'll be interesting. My initial thoughts were like, okay, we've seen it across all series, every single one, right? Where, as we expected, there is a certain additional degree of physicality that the refs are allowing.
Right.
Good or bad, right? For better or for worse.
It is.
Now,
it's beautiful to watch, though.
I think for the Mercury, it's for the better.
Yeah.
Because if Alyssa Thomas is allowed to, kind of like be like the juggernaut, I know
Mhm.
like she always like, makes the comments about her shoulders, but seriously, if she is allowed to kind of like muscle her way to the paint, especially like the way they did it, like I'd have to imagine Nate Tibbetts made a conscious decision, said it doesn't matter. Whoever rips down that
Mhm.
rebound, you go, which is
Yeah.
true, right? Whether it's, Dwana Bonner, Satu, Clay Copper, you even
Mhm.
saw Monica Makoa Makani,
Yes.
freaking even
One of my
Natasha Mack
favorites.
was pushing the ball down, right? At
Right.
some point, right? But
Mhm.
ultimately, they're getting that ball deep. Obviously the Lynx are a different team,
Yeah.
defensively. I believe they finished number one in defense. They have the other co-defensive player of the year in Alana
Right.
Smith.
Mhm.
And obviously Fee is no slouch herself, being, last year's DPOI.
Right.
But it'll be interesting because it's definitely a contrast of styles
Yeah,
um,
it is.
between them and the Lynx. Um, yeah, yeah. I think this is exactly what we talked about, right? Like,
Mhm.
people were asking us who has the deepest team, right? And I was like, okay, I mean, like on paper, probably you could make an argument the Liberty or the Lynx are the deepest teams, right? Like if you like go all the way to like, the 12th player,
Yeah.
you know. But then I was like, saying like on Twitter or X, like now if you're talking about functional depth, I don't know if I just made up a term, right? But like
We'll
realistically,
take it.
like the number of players that are likely going to be in any given lineup combination,
Mhm.
right? So we're talking like 7 or 8 players.
Right.
Then the Mercury are just as functionally deep
Yes.
as like because the Lynx aren't going to go 10 deep. They're not going to go
No,
12 deep.
no, I don't think so.
We
Especially
know
not,
Nate Tibbetts never does anyway. But that's what
especially,
I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah, like their top 7 can
yeah.
match up against any other team's top 7. This is exactly what we've been saying. So, I mean, I think if they're ready, obviously, 5-game series. Um, yeah, I mean, I could definitely see this series going either
The
way. I know
whole
again, I
5,
know
yeah,
The Lynx are the favorites. Let's be clear. They are
yeah.
like the heavy favorites, but I don't know, man. Styles make fights, and this is one where, yeah, like it's just they seem to match up well, with Minnesota. So, what are your thoughts?
Um, I think I agree with you saying like that they also kind of were like the Liberty in and out, then having another player just randomly come in. Like the Liberty had Emma Meeseman, the Mercury had Dewana Bonner come over. You know what I mean? And so it changed everything with the rotations and whatnot. But I think the key for the Mercury is that they have younger players and players that are not as established. And they have a player that's sitting down most of the time that has a really high efficiency if you use her correctly in Kalani Brown. And I won't go as far as making her my X factor, but I also love like what you pointed out as well. Like whoever's getting the rebound, just run. You know what I mean? Like it keeps the opposition off like balance. Period. You know what I mean? And then you get to come down, and AT is so good with and the way that they move, the way that she reads the defenses really quick enough to just make a pass to somebody to shoot it, and they just have I don't know, like it's like I damn near anticipate whoever gets a pass from her, they just gonna make it. It's to that point, you know what I mean? Like because she makes it look so good, she catches them open, and if not, they just reorganize, reset, and you have multiple ball handlers as well. I mean, you can even let Satu ISO. Like we seen it in game 2. You know what I mean? Like let Satu take off, do her thing, let Kai get the ball, dive downhill. Like they have different things that they could throw at you in waves, and then they can shoot the 3. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of hard to dictate like what they're gonna do. Like going into this series, I kind of know how the Lynx, we know how they're going to play. We've seen them do it for really more than 2 years. They've just been building on top of it, bringing players in that actually fit. But the Mercury, this is brand new, but they do have AT. They do have Satu, who has always needed like orchestrator around her, because we've seen it in Dallas when she had to actually push the ball. She can, but it's like, do you want her to do it and get 7 turnovers? You know what I mean? Like, just let her create her own shot. She can do that, pass out of it, reestablish herself somewhere else on the floor, and maybe get another crack at it. But and then you got Dewana Bonner out there too, who keeps it honest for Kai and for Satu. You know what I mean? When she's
huge, man.
yeah, when she's in a rotation with them, like, that's just keeping her defender just pulled off of that lane if they want to dive. You know, it's keeping it off the mid post if Satu wants to get down and do and cook a little bit. And then Satu's been, I don't know, I need to look at what her 3 ball has looked like for the year, but she has moments, and I think that they're very capable, bro. And then Monica Makani is a wild card, you know, to me. And I'll even go as far as saying, again, Kalani Brown. Like, she's a wild card because she was like one of the most efficient players last year. And you know, she went from Dallas to Phoenix, and, you know, it just kind of fizzled out. She didn't have the same type of role. And it's kind of weird because she's like, if I had to say who's their big, who's their all out, just flat out big, she's the biggest. You know what I mean? Especially between Natasha Mack. Like,
Natasha Mack essentially is their center.
Right.
But I mean, at this point, like, we didn't see Kalani Brown in round 1. I don't think we're going to see her here.
Not to the end of the game.
Specifically against the Lynx. Because, you know, we talked about this before, right? The Lynx, you know, friend of the show, right? Andrew Dukowitz, like, they don't have a true center. Like, what does that mean, right? Alana Smith is a true center. She's 6'4". So what? Like, if she's 1 more inch, we call her a true center. But you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Like, Nate Tibbetts is definitely not going to be motivated. Like, oh, what? You got like 1 more inch? I'm going to have to play some, you know. So, you know, like, this matchup, going back to it, is just so you like.
It's unique.
I won't say weird. It's not weird. Maybe unique's a good word.
Like you was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, for example, Minnesota, they finished the season 1st in offensive rating, 1st in defensive rating. But guess what? Right?
Mm-hmm.
They are the 3rd slowest team, right? Mm-hmm. In the league, right? They play at the 3rd slowest pace, right?
Yeah.
Right? They're only faster than the Valkyries and Connecticut, right? That doesn't say much, right?
No.
It just goes to show how highly efficient they are, which, I mean, you think about it, like, right, at one point, right, for a good majority of the season, Kayla McBride was around, like, you know, hovering around 50, 40, 90, right? Fee finished the season at 50, 40, 90. You know what I'm saying, right? They're an uber efficient team offensively and defensively. I get it, right? They're that stout defensively that they get stops. So there are fewer transition opportunities for the opponent, right? It's just, wow, right? Yeah. But at the same time, you have the Mercury. They're like middle of the pack in both offense and defense, right? In terms of offensive rating and defensive rating. They're like right in the middle.
Right.
But then they play at like one of the fastest paces in the league.
Breakneck.
And what's crazier is they play at such a fast pace despite playing a short rotation.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, right? You think, okay, you could play fast if you're playing a lot of players, right? Because you're not getting them exhausted. But no, Nate Tibbetts sticks to his 7-player rotation, and they just go up and down, up and down. It'll be interesting. You're saying, not quite at our X Factor yet, but in terms of, you know, you described them as wild cards. Monica Makani, for me, I don't think she's a wild card. Like,
the Lynx won't. I don't think they'll be able to figure, like, maybe after a game or two, maybe after 2 games, they can scout her. But I think she's capable. I'm just saying she's a wild card as far as if they jam up AT or if Kai's having a bad game, then like she can go off. You know what I mean?
Oh no, that's my point. I wouldn't. I can't call her a wild card. I think like she's essential. Like if they're going to pull this off, they're going to win this series. She has to continue being having a big impact. You know, specifically, and we saw it. I believe I tweeted out in Game 3. But like New York, they had no answer whatsoever. They had no answer for the reverse pick and rolls, right? That the Mercury use, right?
Yeah.
And specifically, when Monica Makani was involved in like those inverted pick and rolls where like she's the screen setter, you know,
Yeah.
They literally like it was a wide open shot or like a point blank layup every time. They just kept spamming that over and
Right.
over and over. Now
Right.
again, now they're going up against the number one defense. I'm sure
Defense.
they're going to
Yeah.
have more answers, but still, right? The fact that
Mhm.
whether it's Monica Koamakani or Sammy Whitcomb, right,
Yep.
or Catherine Westbelt, right,
That's
involved in these
making
inverted,
big shots.
that's what I'm saying, right? The fact that
Yeah.
any of them can be involved in those inverted pick and rolls, like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's easier said than done. I'm sure the Lynx will have a little bit more success stopping it or defending it,
Mhm.
but I don't know, right? Like
Right.
there's
Right.
a lot, like it's the same action, but like there's a variation to it, right? It's like
Right.
MCU, right? There are variants.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. I'm with you too. With Satu.
Mhm.
I think game one to me was like, game one against Liberty. That was kind of like a manifestation of what people thought negatively, like what could go wrong in
Right.
that AT Satu pairing, where basically Satu becomes like exclusively a
Right.
catch and shoot shooter.
Right.
As you said, right? Like she can do that, but that's like, you're not maximizing her talents, you're not maximizing her strengths.
Right.
Like you said, and that's why when Monica Koamakani, like setting like a simple like away screen and
Mhm.
boom, you got Satu, right? Hitting the
Mhm.
lane, or fine, she's gonna post you up, right? Back you down.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Like those are the types of looks. Because again, just get that one switch, get her on to like Courtney Williams or something like that,
Ooh,
or
especially
whoever, right?
the difference in height
Yeah,
alone is gonna be a
yeah.
problem.
But
Yeah.
on the flip side, we talked
Exactly.
about like why the Mercury could make this definitely make this a competitive series.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about the Lynx? I mean, I think we, like you said, we know how they play, but I mean, how do you think they're really going to attack the Mercury?
I think it's just gonna be a factory links attack. Like I used to call them the by committee team because they didn't have a big for a very long time. You know what I mean? And I mean, who can't do anything over there? Like they got K Mac, they got Courtney. We didn't even how many people brought up uh Jessica Shepard that much? You know what I mean? This year. Alana Smith is still underrated, to be honest. She's finally getting her due. They did well when Fee went down, so it's not like they don't have a well-oiled machine over there because people were that's really what really lunged Asia into the MVP discussion was the Lynx were still doing what they were doing without Fee because it's just such a factory thing now. You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of just expect them to be the Lynx. Like, it's nothing brand new out of the bag that I expect from them. I just expect them to be more locked in because they did lose last year. They do want to win this year. And they just have a way of going about their game where they're all completely unselfish. Because I'm sure Fee can put up 30 a game if she wanted to, you know what I mean? But she's just like, oh yeah, here, 18 right here, oh 24 right here. They move the ball so well and everything. So for them, it's just going to be a matter of if their flow gets disturbed or not. That's really it. That's the only thing I really have for them. Like they're that good, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's really all I have for them. It's like almost unexciting, but at the same time, it's like they're like the Spurs at this point. You know what I mean? They're the
they are.
WNBA San Antonio Spurs. They
They
will
really are.
destroy you, but they don't do it in a manner that's like, oh, this is so exciting. Like, no, it's just factory. Up here, take this bucket. Up, yup, take this shot. Up, yup, here, up, fake, up, you're done. It's not, like we're seeing something just out of the bag. So I just expect them to be a factory robot. And we have to see if the Mercury can like apply some heat to it. Can they rise from the ashes or are they gonna take this L?
I mean, as friend of the show, Andrew Jukowitz will be quick to remind everyone, right? The
Mhm.
Lynx, they rarely, if ever, defend in a zone, right? Which again speaks to how good, you know,
Mhm.
how competent each of them are, right, in terms of staying in front of their defensive assignment, and being able to defend straight up.
Mhm.
I'm glad that you actually brought up Jessica Shepard.
Yeah.
I think Jessica Shepard, her ability to play like not just as a backup center, but
Mm-hmm.
like she can play alongside Alana Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Interchangeably for real.
yeah, I think the Mercury, they're gonna expect they're going to use they're even smaller. They're smaller small
Lineup.
ball lineup
Mm-hmm.
where Dwana Bonner is essentially like a stretch five.
Right.
Um, that'll be really interesting. I think I could see the Lynx again. They could just go with their normal lineup, right? Where essentially like Lon is the five, and Fee's the four. But I
Yeah.
mean, they have shown instances, right? Well, they'll go big. Even against smaller lineups, right? They'll go Fee at the three, Lon at the four, Jessica Shepard
Yeah.
at the five. I
Yeah.
mean, they all move so well in space. Some
Right.
better than others, but I mean Jessica Shepard, she's not like heavy footed,
Right.
you know.
She's not a slouch.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It'll be interesting because obviously we know the Mercury Nate Tibbetts, they're encouraged, bombs away. Um, a lot of those looks are a lot different, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
not like you were saying, right, Alyssa Thomas, such a great,
Just
like
orchestrator, man.
scorer, but like, well, how did Hayden describe her? The conductor,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
As a facilitator, and what
Perfect
you were
word.
saying, those passes, you have confidence that whoever catches the pass, the shot's going to go in. Why? Because the pass is so right. It's right there in the
It's
shooting
right.
pocket.
Yes. It's like perfect. It's like right in your shooting pocket. You're at the perfect point in the offense where that's where the moment you will be open, the ball is right in your hand. You know what I mean? As opposed to somebody running you off the 3-point
Is
line,
it
or you
going
know what
to
I mean?
be
Like
a clean catch though against the
the
Lynx?
Lynx, because they have that
Okay.
length.
Now,
You're
at
right.
least for game
You can
one, I
go away.
believe Dejanay has been ruled out already, so that
Oh,
kind of
oh,
sucks.
they
That
got a
sucks.
chance. They have a
You know,
chance.
you know. But we'll see. On the flip side, I mean, like, do they really? I mean, I don't know. Do they have an answer for free? I'm getting it's the same thing with
Mm-mm,
like Asia.
mm-mm,
Nobody like has an answer
mm-mm.
for free. I
Right.
mean, like, I
No.
guess you could try ball. That's the thing that
That
even like the
elbow
Valkyries
jumper
try
is
so often.
nasty. Yeah.
Valkyries, in my opinion, are a superior defense than the
Yeah.
Mercuries. Right? They
Yeah.
tried some different like kind of trapping schemes to play ball denial on Fee, and they did.
Mhm.
They denied her the
Mhm.
ball, but guess what? It got back to her with like 4 seconds on the shot clock
And then
because yeah,
you
Jessica
can't stop
Shepard,
that.
Alana Smith, every single one of the Lynx players, any player they put on the court is a high level passer. That's the
Right.
thing. It's gonna either get back to Fee, who you
Mhm.
want, or Courtney Williams. It's going to get
Yep.
back to who you want to take the shot, or it's going to get the ball to someone who's like wide open, whether that be like
Exactly.
a Bridget Carlton or even like a
Exactly.
Dejanay.
We didn't even mention her.
Oh well, I'm
Like
saving her. I'm saving her
no.
because she's okay. Well,
Okay.
let's go into it.
Let's what
X
the X Factors.
Factors. X
Okay, I'll
Factors.
go first because mine might be boring.
Oh,
But
good.
for the Mercury, I'm going with Sammy Wickham actually,
Ooh,
because this is going to be the K-Mac versus Sammy Wickham battle for me. Like if Phoenix can make their threes efficiently, they really have a chance, because the Lynx are going to play them in a certain manner that they're going to have to make those shots when they have the opportunities, outside of trying to do, like play through AT, getting it wide open like that all the time. Like they're going to have to really figure out like what the Lynx are doing defensively, because of line, because of Jessica. Like they have just too many defensive weapons over there. So if they can make threes and keep it honest and keep the floor stretch for Kai and Satu, then in AT, let's not sleep, because AT's coming too. She gonna just bully you like, get out my way, whatever. And yeah, like so I'm gonna go with Sammy Wickham, because like I feel like she can really blow this thing open. She could come in and get hot, and then it's like all of a sudden, does that shift the defensive like priorities? You know what I mean? Or is it just let's still keep doing what we've been doing? You know what I mean?
right.
So if she could come in and kind of throw off their defense, and we could force them to do something different defensively, then I think that increases their chances as well. And then you want me to jump to the other side, or you want to do yours first?
I'll go for it. Yeah. Jump to the other side.
Um, to the other side, I will go with I will go with Natisha Heidemann off the bench. I have to go there
I believe
because
she was the runner-up for
yeah, she
sixth player of
was.
the year.
She
Right?
arguably should have been. You know what I mean? Just looking at
Well,
some of the numbers. I mean, no, I'm with
congrats
Nas
to
Hillman,
Nas.
and
Yeah,
I chose Nas Hillman, but
yeah, I think we both
um,
did. So
shout out Michigan. Shout out to Michigan Nas Hillman, 50-point scorer here. But humble brag. Natisha, if she gets in and she's a spark plug off the bench. She's a microwave. You know, I'm thinking of NBA 2K for some reason and all of that stuff and all of the nicknames. But if she does that, you know what I mean? Like it's over. It's just over because that means it's a continuation of what's going on. Plus, with the way their rotation works, the way the offense works, like you're not going to beat the Lynx if she's getting off. You have to find some areas, at least like 3 areas, honestly, to stop them because they're loaded with weapons. So it's like K-Mac cannot go off, but if Natisha comes off the bench and goes off, then what's the difference? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Natisha Heidemann.
nice,
Shout out
nice.
to the Stubbuds.
That's right. That's right. I'm actually gonna. My choice is also Sammy Wickham, so I'm just gonna stick with
Oh,
Sammy Wickham.
oh,
Yeah.
what?
However, I
Okay.
totally agree with everything you said. But to
Yeah.
be honest, like my reason for picking her was on actually the defensive side.
Okay.
I
All right.
think, yeah. I mean, again, I don't think sometimes I don't. I think because of her 3-point prowess
Yeah.
that
It gets lost
people
in
don't
the
really talk
sauce.
about her defense.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think in that Liberty series, you really saw how essential she was.
Yeah.
Frankly, before the game kind of got away from them. Well, it got away from them in game
Yeah.
1. She had some moments where, again, she was like she kept the game, at least in the first half. She kind of kept it within reach, right? Just because even if she's not credited with the offensive rebound, she was always in the scrum, like getting, like tapping it
Mhm.
out, or volleyballing it up, to get it back to like AT or SAW 2.
Mhm.
Setting fantastic like off-ball screens, really again, just really getting in the passing lanes. She did a really good job of like hedging and recovering,
Mhm.
and that ended up, paying off dividends in games 2 and 3. I think, yeah, if she can continue bringing that kind of defensive intensity, because
Yeah.
again, as you said, the more that she is a viable
Mhm.
defensive option,
Yeah.
like she's not compromising, right? Then the longer the more minutes she'll play. And the more minutes she plays, the more spacing Phoenix has.
Right.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I think I'll put her as an X factor. But again, I think I could see her definitely being big. And
You said it.
same
You
thing,
said it right.
yeah, the same thing,
Like
right? What you said, who did we say about Dana Evans in that regard, right? Like we've seen it. We know Sammy Wickham can like knock down like literally, right? What was
yeah.
her season high this year? Wasn't it like
Uh
7 threes or something like that, or
yeah,
7 or 8?
yeah, it was something crazy. She
I
was
know she had.
Seattle Sammy that dropped the gum on the floor and picked it back up and was going crazy.
I know she went crazy on Dallas. I can't remember how many threes that was, but I know it was like a 30+ point game or
I'm
something
thinking
like
2 years back, but
that.
yeah, that's why
Um,
that's why I agree with what you said about her. Like we don't think about her defensively. At least I haven't been. Like I think about Seattle Sammy when I think about her and just what she's
yeah.
capable of. Yeah.
And then finally, for Minnesota, I'm gonna go, as I was saying, alluding to earlier, I'm gonna go with Bridget Carlton. I
Uh-oh.
think,
Sleeper pick.
yeah, I think a lot of fans, you look at like her raw, like just her counting stats, especially like her point totals. It could be
Mhm.
anywhere from like 0 to like 8, and
Right.
it's not particularly impressive. But I don't know. I've always been really I've always been fascinated by Bridget Carlton's game. I think it's again one of
Mhm.
those the types of contributor that doesn't really get much attention because again, right,
Right.
she doesn't put up gaudy stats. But I
Mhm.
mean, if you saw her like again against like the Valkyries, and I know like the Valkyries like everything went through Veronica Burton, so okay, you could understand right the defensive, but it's not like the Lynx were sending multiple bodies at VB. It was literally Bridget Carlton picking her up like 94 feet, you
Right.
know,
Mhm.
and just making life hell on her. I mean, VB is a very efficient
Ball handler.
ball handler,
Mhm.
and playmaker. She does not turn the ball over much, and I think that one game was a game 1. Oh, there's only 2 games, but game 1, I mean, Bridget Carlton only played the first 3 quarters because by the end of the third quarter, right, they were up like 20 plus points. But through 3 quarters, she turned VB over like 6 times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The Liberty just had a horrible time defending ball.
Yeah.
Especially in transition. I don't know what they were trying to do. Whether they're trying to like cross match or something like that. But by the time they did, boom, someone's already getting downhill. Bridget Carlton will not allow that to happen.
Shout out to Benija Laney. I just wanted to throw her name out there.
Yeah.
New York needed her for sure.
Kayla Thornton too.
Yeah.
But, however, there were also a lot of players on the bench who never saw, right? Who never made it in. That's for another episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm gonna go with Bridget Carlton. And again, right, same thing. Like, she's never afraid of the moment. She'll,
right.
I mean, the Valkyries had, like a late, a big lead. They lost it, but then they were able to regain the lead, and then Bridget Carlton knocks down like timely threes.
Mm-hmm. And you need that.
I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Bridget Carlton will be my X factor. So having said that, we
prediction
said
time.
Like a 20-minute episode. Look at
that. We were gonna do 20 minutes. No, because it's just a lot of excitement with this. This first round was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so prediction time. You want me to go first or
please?
I love the Mercury so much, bro. Like, I was losing my mind hoping they didn't lose. But like I said, the Lynx are the Spurs. They're the San Antonio Spurs to me. So I'm gonna say Lynx, and unfortunately Lynx in 4, and that's just showing Phoenix love. You know what I mean? Because Phoenix hasn't been together. They don't have the continuity that they need. Not against a team like the Lynx. I don't think they can surprise us, because AT, it just seems like no matter what team she's on at this point, they're getting out the first round at least, and they're going to compete and like push you to another level. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, oh, you thought you was gonna stop us here? No, it's like for instance, the Lynx will win game 1, then here comes AT, then they win game 2, then here's AT's like, oh, I think I got it figured out, win game 3, then the Lynx will be like, nah, it just seems like that's what's been going on with AT, and I want AT to succeed. But if I'm just gonna be honest about it, Lynx in 4. But if Phoenix doesn't really figure out, like, if they haven't already figured it out, like how they truly want to run, this could be a sweep, but it would be the most competitive sweep we've ever seen. You know what I mean? So
nice.
Yeah. Phoenix, I love y'all. I do. I love Satu. I love Kai. Like, y'all got it going on over there. So let's see what Nate Tibbetts pulls out what rabbit he pulls out the hat, if he can, with this one.
I want to say,
thinking about it,
I'm trying to give myself reasons to say this is going to go 5.
Yeah, because of AT.
I'm with you. I'm going to have to also go. I mean, I'm happy to say I'm going to go with Lynx in 4. Yeah. And I feel I would feel even more confident about this being in 4. Because I really do believe this is a series where Dejanay would be really big.
Yeah.
Because again, like, if she's coming off the bench, that's the thing. When she has the opportunity to play next to Bridget or Kayla McBride, Dejanay, and she had some good moments too, again, right? During the regular season, even against that Valkyrie series where she was at the point of attack.
Right.
But when she has to do that and do that only, it kind of exposes some of like her weaknesses, right? As a defender, she's better off, again, right, as a roamer, kind of like as a help or weak side defender, a free safety, if you will,
right?
Kind of going up, causing chaos, blowing shit up, right?
Now I gotta mark the episode explicit. It's all good.
So
she does muck shit.
I know, man. We almost made it, dude. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. So obviously she's out game 1, but it is in Minnesota, right? I mean, Minnesota has home court advantage, so you think they're going to defend home court. But I just see, like, again, make no mistake, I'm not saying like she is the key to winning. I'm just saying I think she could really elevate their already good defense.
Right.
If she's able to come back, but I don't know her status. We'll see, right? So,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, they got plenty of weapons, and yeah, I mean, I would imagine. I know Courtney Williams kind of had an up and down
Yeah.
series against the Valkyries. Again, made some timely shots, but other than
Yeah.
that, it
Man.
was kind of rough.
Yeah.
I could see her having a lot more success. A little bit more rhythm
Yeah.
in this
Because
series.
it's not going to be that same defense either.
They're not going to be throwing the same bodies, at her. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's all going to be thrown at Fee. So
Yeah.
we'll
Oh,
see. But yeah, I'm with you. Lynx and 4.
well, everybody that's listening, make sure y'all comment because that's why we went live. We wanted to see if you guys would tap in. Drop who you think is going to win each series. Drop your X factors on each side for each team. Make sure y'all like and subscribe on the YouTube. Y'all to see this pod go up. Yeah. So get ready for tomorrow because the games start. I know a lot of people are gonna be watching football, but yes, the next round is gonna be crazy. So make sure y'all tune in and don't miss it. And with that being said, yeah, we'll see y'all. When we coming again? Thursday, Monday? What is it? We'll be coming soon. Thursday, yeah. And until then, unless something just crazy happens, like Phoenix is up 2-0 by then, or the Fever, you know what I mean, on the Aces, then we gonna do an emergency episode. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all, and yeah, have a good day.
Take care.